I did a video all about communicating with siblings, and I realised that some of the things I said afterwards, after reading, watching it back, it was very little that I said that could have been taken the wrong way, but there were a few sentences that I wasn't very pleased with because um, um, sometimes when I'm talking about these things, I can lose track of what I'm actually trying to say. Um, what I will say is that communicating with my siblings has been a really tricky experience for me. I don't always know if they actually really love me for who I am, and that can be distressing because we communicate very, very differently. I'm very authentic, I'm very honest. I try to share with them if I truly love them, and I share very, very honest feelings, which may seem very intense to them, because I feel feelings very intensely. Um, so I may share the video, but may actually edit it and just kind of take the clips that I feel are important. I just wanted to share with people because you may be misunderstanding your siblings, or your siblings may be misunderstanding you, and I just want to share with you some of my experiences around my relationships with my siblings. I have had very tricky relationships with them, and it's been really difficult for me to understand them or communicate with them effectively, and for them to understand me. Sometimes I've info dumped and given them way too much information really, really quickly, and they've kind of just recoiled and just stopped talking or not understood me. And other times I feel like I've, tried to explain myself so much that I've got lost in the explanation, because it's very hard to explain what is going on in my brain, because I don't really understand it. I never really understood it until I kind of understood autism, and then that took me until I was 41. So all these past years of trying to kind of explain myself have probably been completely wrong. So yeah, I just need to stop this because I'm hearing a sound and I just want to just pause a second. Okay, that's sorted. So what I wanted to just explain is just, if you've been having really tricky, difficult relationships with people, trying to understand them and trying to understand yourself. And if you're newly diagnosed, you might have also experienced, as I've experienced, that you've ruined some relationships kind of unknowingly. You've gone into meltdown. You haven't realized that you shouldn't communicate in meltdown, which I think is really important. Is go and look after yourself. Don't communicate. Whereas I've tried to force myself to communicate even in those situations, and sometimes because my executive functioning is gone, I have created bigger problems by trying to communicate in meltdown, and ended up saying things that I didn't mean, saying things horribly, and realizing only later, when my executive functioning comes back online, that actually, I've said all these things and I can't take them back. So I just want to just share with you that it is difficult, especially if your siblings are more neurotypical than you. I know from the assessment that my parents said I was very, very different from my siblings as from a baby. So, I think they are more neurotypical than me, and they do seem to have lots of big conversations at family events. I would be going into the corner hiding, and they would all be chatting away, and I'd find it overwhelming. Um, but yeah, if you've never ever been diagnosed, if nobody's ever told you why you feel the way you feel, You probably have been struggling to explain yourself, just like me. You've probably had arguments and not known how to resolve things, just like me. And you've probably really struggled with the conflict. And I mean, I internalized a lot of those thoughts, and unfortunately, internalizing them meant that, I was attacking myself an awful lot. Um, to the point where it became quite dangerous for me. So I had to learn not to attack myself for the things that I have said in the past and for not understanding myself, and to be more compassionate with myself around these situations. And that has really been helpful for me, just understanding. Because I tell you what, worse than other people understanding not understanding you, is not understanding yourself and not understanding why do you say these things? Why do you come out with these things at certain times when you're really, really struggling with severe stress? Why do you all of a sudden say something horrible and then feel absolutely devastated afterwards? It's because my executive functioning was going offline. I get it. I get it now, because I really can't control sometimes. I really can't control myself in those meltdowns. And I say can't. I haven't been able to in the past. I found it a lot easier since understanding myself, but I haven't been able to just. The thoughts are so fast, and I haven't been able to catch them quick enough to stop myself. And yeah, it's had devastating consequences for me and my siblings. So we've completely disconnected. Um, some of us have completely disconnected with each other and they've gone into kind of a shutdown where they won't connect anymore. And I've tried, but it never seems to work. So yeah, I don't really know how to communicate with them anymore, which is sad, really. But unfortunately, I can't really figure it out, and I'm kind of learning to be less ashamed of that, really, because I've always had this. I've always had it. I've always struggled with communicating, and my diagnosis makes complete sense. And sometimes people have to reach out to you and find out where you're coming from to learn how to appreciate you better. Because I do appreciate myself since understanding I have autism, because I work so hard to love people and to give people the best of me, and the most authentic version of me, and the most honest version of me. And I don't think they believe it. But you know what's really difficult is when they tell me that they love me. I don't always believe that either. So hopefully they do love me, and hopefully from this point on I can try and understand myself better and learn to love me